What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Arrow Season 5, Episode 18, Disbanded. So, this was a better episode, in my opinion, than last week. Obviously, got a lot of dislikes on the last one because a lot of people were talking about how great the episode was, and I did not think it was because it focused mainly on the flashback with the Bratva instead of present day with Chase, and honestly, the Chase stuff was interesting, and that's something that I didn't really talk about as much as I probably should have. The stuff with Chase is interesting, and it has been interesting since we found out he was Prometheus. But last week I didn't get enough of that. This week I got a lot more of that, so it was a lot more, I guess, pleasing to me to see just the after effects of what Chase put him through and how that's affecting Oliver. So, pretty much this is Oliver getting his groove back again, because we kind of did go through this storyline a little bit after the mid-season finale where he killed Billy. We saw that he was struggling, he didn't know if he was able to do this anymore, and it took a little talking to get him back on his feet and ready to fight again. Well, this time Adrian knocks him down even more to the point where he just disbands the team and he asks the Bratva to go kill him for him because he's that done. And it's, again, talking to him, getting him back on his feet again. And so that's pretty much the story of this episode. Couple things that didn't work for me. One is still the Felicity stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand, first of all, how easily she's just gone completely, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go help these people. And also how the rest of the team is just like, yeah, sure. I mean, Curtis even goes and finds her at this place so he can help her get the information that she needs. I'm just like, if it would be one thing if it was something along the lines of, okay, she found out about them, Helix contacts her and they're like, we want your help. She says no, but they start to give her some help. They start to help her with some information, and they have her do a couple things for them, just to help them out in exchange. But she doesn't really trust them yet. We see in this one, she trusts them far more than she trusts Arrow team now. Because everything's going on with Oliver, she just leaves everybody else. She's like, alright, see you later, guys. I'm going to go hang out with my new friends. And it's just like she completely leaves them. And even there's a scene where Diggle is talking to her, and he's just like, we can't let Oliver go down this path. And it's the point of not caring, and she's just like, why shouldn't we? See you later, John. And that's it. Like, the Felicity that I know from the past 4 seasons would not just completely blow off Oliver like this. She wouldn't just be like, yeah, he's fine. Oh yeah, I know he's struggling with some stuff right now. I know he was tortured and beaten and knocked down to the point where now he thinks Team Arrow is no longer a thing, but he's fine. Just let him do what he needs to do. Since when have we seen Felicity so uncaring about Oliver? Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that they are not a thing anymore, and I'm glad they're not a thing, because they don't deserve to be. They don't deserve, Felicity deserves somebody better than Oliver. And so their romance never made a whole lot of sense, but despite the fact that they're not in a romantic relationship anymore, they're still really good friends. They've still been connected, just like Oliver and John. They've been connected since the beginning, since it all began. And she just blows them off now, like, whatever, I'm gonna hang out with my new friends. Because they now mean more to me than Oliver and you guys. That's what it seems like, at least. So I don't understand. Like, she completely trusts him now. Curtis goes and finds her, and he's okay with her doing Helix stuff. John's pretty much, he's not okay with it, but he's not saying anything to her anymore. When Oliver is going down a dark path, he's like, I'm not going to leave you alone about this. When Felicity's going down a dark path, alright, you know what, you've accepted it, I'm going to accept it too. Or you could say the same thing that you're saying to Oliver right now, but no, that would make too much sense. So Felicity stuff just pisses me off to no end. The other thing that didn't really work for me is, honestly, seeing the team kind of take on Adrian and take on the Bratva at the same time. I like it, but at the same time, I wish the team meant more to me at this point. And this isn't a fault of this episode. It's more the fault of this show not really getting me connected to the team. I don't feel anything when this is happening. I should feel like, oh yes, the team, they're there for him. They're there for Oliver. They're going to help him. They're going to stop the Bratva from trying to kill Chase because they know that Oliver needs this. But honestly, during those scenes, I was just kind of like, oh, the action's good. And that's about it. because I don't really care about this team anymore. I don't really care about, oh, what's going to happen to Wild Dog, what's going to happen to Curtis, what's going to happen to Dinah. I don't care about them, to be honest, and that's not good. The fact that they managed to do so poorly with setting this team up is not good. The final thing that I need to talk about is that final scene where the team and Oliver are facing off against the Bratva. First of all, the hostage situation was really piss poor. I mean, how easy was that for them to walk in there and they've got the hostages, they're like, we're gonna kill them, we got the gun to their head, and then they're just got the guns up, shot, and all the hostages are okay. I'm just like, that should have been a lot more difficult. Also, can we talk about the fact that they're just killing off Bratva members? Like, I understand Oliver's the one struggling with killing, but since when have we gone from, oh, killing is wrong, to now we're just killing off all of our enemies? Where did that come from? Because honestly, they kill off pretty much all the Bratva members that were there until it's to the point where, there aren't enough and so they retreat or something along those lines. But I don't know, it seemed way too simple for them to just be like, alright, time to start killing guys, boom, 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 shoot them all up. Didn't John used to have a gun that was like concussion bullets or something like that? Like, I don't know, now the fact that they're using real bullets for me is just bizarre. The fact that we're just killing is okay now doesn't quite seem right. But anyway, it's the little details that just don't matter to people. So those are the things I didn't really like. The rest of it, though, was pretty good. I mean, first of all, seeing Adrian beat Prometheus is still a lot of fun. Just pretty much this new persona that he has. He sounds like he knows better than everybody else, even in the scenes where it's just him talking to Oliver with other people around, as Adrian. The tone of voice he uses is just pitch perfect for what I want to see from him. So honestly, I really am enjoying him as a bad guy this season. He's really, to see the change in him and to see kind of how he enjoys just torturing Oliver. Even at the end where he kills the two guys that are trying to arrest him, and then as he's leaving, the cop cars are passing by, and he turns on like this happy tune and just starts whistling. It's like he's just always in a good mood whenever he's torturing Oliver. But I am kind of curious to see what his end game is, because it's almost like he wants Oliver to kill him. It feels like that's his end game, is he wants Oliver to kill him and take him out, because that would prove his point. That Oliver's a monster and a killer. So it's kind of bizarre, but I would almost say that if Adrian dies at the end of the season, it would almost kind of be a win for him. So I hope they don't just kill him off and just like, oh yeah, Oliver kills him, that's it guys, we're all good, we're all done. No, that kind of plays into what Adrian wants. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to lock him up, or what they're going to do. In my opinion, I think the best thing to do for that would just be lock him in Star Labs, in one of the little things, because that would probably be the best place for him to be held, because there's no way he's getting out of that. If you lock him in a regular jail cell or anything like that, he can get out really easily there. So yeah, I hope they don't just kill him off, because that would just be way too easy and would play right into his hands. The other stuff, what Oliver's going through, stuff with the Bratva, stuff with John and Oliver, I like that stuff. First of all, John and Oliver's relationship over the years has really grown, and that's kind of my point watching the team go into it. I don't feel like I've grown close enough to them to really respect or feel emotional about what they're doing, stopping the Bratva. But watching what John's going through, I feel that, because I've seen their friendship. I've seen what they've gone through together. They are pretty much brothers at this point. And I love the fact that he brought up what Oliver told him earlier on this season about, he wanted to punish himself for killing his brother by staying in jail. And Oliver just said, no, you're not allowed to do that. He pretty much talked him out of it. And so he brings that up and pretty much talks Oliver out of just, letting himself be punished for this. So I don't know. I think John was the perfect person to get him out of this slump, because they are brothers. I love that analogy, and I love how they really brought that together and used that very effectively. And the other thing that really works is just, in my opinion, just watching this story of Oliver sort of being tortured by this guy. It really, really works. It really, I don't want to say it's dark and gritty, because realistically, it's not 100% dark. It's not like I said, last week they had a chance to kill off Evelyn. That would have made it really, really dark, but they didn't. So it's still not quite as dark as they could go, and I think that's what makes it better than I think. If they had just gone 100% dark, I think a lot of people would have hated it. I personally feel like if you're going to go with something, though, stick with it. And so the fact that it looked like they were going to go that way and didn't, it was a little upsetting. But watching this episode and watching kind of the dark undertones, but that's about it, it really works for this show. You know, it is a darker show. A lot of it is done at night. You know, a lot of it is done out of the daylight and in the shadows. So I think the fact that they use that to their advantage and they stick to it is actually really well done. The action scenes are well done. The fight within Oliver and with the Rotfa, all of that is shown very well. So all in all, I mean, yeah, it's fun to see what Oliver's having to go through and experience that internal struggle and the external struggle at the same time. You really do get to see that, and they showcase that very well. And honestly, that's something that the show has not done well in the past couple seasons, is show that internal struggle cleverly. You know, most of the time it's so obvious what they're trying to show you, and they do a poor job of showing it, or they just completely nix that idea and completely change the character's motivations. But we see in this one, I mean, Oliver was ready to just kill Adrian off, but John knows that wouldn't be right for him. After he gets out of this slump that he's in, he knows he'd never forgive himself, and so Oliver realizes that too in the end. And he's trying to work to become something better than what he was before, you know, that killer, that monster. By the way, if I hear another episode where he talks about becoming something else, probably going to shoot my brains out, because, gosh, I mean, really, how many times do we have to say that? That's just something that bothers me, but yeah, come on. It's like throwing it in every episode makes them feel clever, like, I had to become something else. I'm becoming something else. I'm something else. Hey, you saw that movie? That was something else. Shut up! It was something else. A couple of things I wanted to talk about. What was one of them? I think seeing Lance involved a little bit more. We've seen some of the characters kind of come in and out. Thea is now out again for some reason. She's in, then she's out. Quentin's been the same way. He's in, then he's out. But I don't know. Seeing him involved again, I have to wonder what's going to happen with his character, because honestly, he hasn't really been much of a character this season. He's kind of been, you know, we had a little bit of a story with him. The one time where Prometheus kind of framed him for being Prometheus. I don't know. That seems so long ago now, because he hasn't been involved in a long, long time. So I don't know what the point of bringing him back into the show is, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do there. Seeing Curtis in the field, not the best thing, but I do like the scene where he tackles Adrian, and Adrian kind of kicks him and then turns to look, and as he's doing that, Curtis throws his little tech thing up there. Like I said, that is Curtis's strong point. It's not his fighting. It's not his physical prowess. It's not his, you know, oh, I have a good strategy of what to do. No, he's the tech guy. And so seeing him create these little balls that he's been using in the field, you know, even Wild Dog uses one of them later on in a fight whenever he's not around, that's his thing. And so I'm really glad that they're utilizing that. They're not just, oh, Curtis is a fighter, guys. He's always a fighter. That's what he's always meant to be. No, it's not. We're seeing what he's meant to be, and I'm glad they're still sticking to that. You know, even though he is a bit more in the field than I would like him to be, I think the fact that he invented those little things to help him out is almost like, yeah, that's what he's good at. So I really like that scene. I like what that showed for him. But him and Felicity infiltrating that base, and Felicity's in there, and then she like, I don't know. It almost feels like she wants to be in the field as well. I'm just like, no, stop. Stop trying to throw people in the field that don't belong there, because it's just dumb. But anyway, long story short, good episode. Still got some problems, sure, but definitely a step in the right direction. I hope they can continue this on, because one of the things that I get worried about with the show is, can they sustain this momentum? Because last season, it felt like they never really got momentum going, and a couple episodes that were good kind of dropped off afterwards. So I want to see if they can just get this momentum going, actually start to produce a really, really good show. Because honestly, I want to see a good show. I want to see, every time I tune in week after week, I want to tune in expecting to have a really, really good show. But you know, it's interesting to see what they're going to do from here. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Arrow reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.